Nadia è una giovane donna, mamma di una bambina di 5 mesi, lei è ucraina, viveva vicino a Kiev e ha vissuto l'inizio di questo conflitto nascondendosi in questi bunker improvvisati insieme ai vicini, gli amici, ed è riuscita poi finalmente a scappare. Adesso sta da degli amici in Olanda. Mi sono voluta far raccontare la sua storia, una testimonianza diretta di quello che è successo, una sua analisi di questo conflitto e anche le sue paure, perché suo marito è ancora lì a combattere. First of all, I want to ask you, how are you? You're not in Kiev anymore. How are you doing now?
Thank you very, very much for asking. I am doing okay. Just finally, my 10-month daughter started sleeping quiet without waking up, screaming and crying because we were stressed and she was stressed as well. And thanks God, I have here my good friend. So she hosted me here with her husband like a family. And all neighbors, all their family is helping me, and they even were given some money. So I am sending money from here to Ukraine to some people who I see in Facebook, some moms who need it. Because, of course, we have humanitarian help, but to some parts we cannot get this help. So it didn't get yet. So that's why I know myself some moms, and I'm sending them some little money here, there, that they can buy some food for babies, because I know how it is.
That must be terrible. And was it easy to get away, to go to Holland? How did you manage to escape from Ukraine?
We were scared to get to the railway station because all schedules are completely changed during wartime, and so we didn't know, maybe we will be waiting and will be this alarm like you need to go to the shelter. And so we were on phone call with railway stations, with people who live near railway station. They told us, okay, the train gone to your direction, so probably you can go. And then we went to, my mom and my husband were following me, just helping me, because I was my backpack, my little daughter on my arms, and a small bag on me, with documents, and that's it. So we managed to go to Lviv, and from Lviv we already on the train as well. We crossed the border, but that's I'm telling you fast. It took me really, really time to depart and then to arrive. But and a few times we heard this alarm in the air. So, but thank God, everywhere around was more or less quiet.
And did your husband come with you, or is he still there?
My husband is still there because he's in the local defense. He's a member of local defense. I live near the Kyiv in a small village, like cottage village. So in case they go there, so my husband will be one of those who will protect.
Are you scared for him?
I am calling a few times a day to my mom, and twice a day I make video call for our daughter, because she's still small, but she understands that this man who is here around, my friend's husband, it's not daddy, and she's looking at him like this. She cannot understand where is father. So I'm making a video call, and she can see him, and she's smiling like she's 10 months old, but she understands, and she's smiling to him. Can you imagine?
I can imagine. Listen, we're seeing Ukrainian fighting so hard. Even Russians, I think, were not expecting that. So where do you find the strength to fight back so strongly?
Probably because we know that we didn't do nothing wrong. We are on our territory. We have never been Nazistic. We have never been fascistic. We are just peaceful country. We are peaceful people living on our land, and we really love this land. However, okay, a lot of us are working abroad, but believe me, now exactly this situation helped us to understand that all of us, wherever we are, but all of us are one nation, and we started to grow up together, and we really love Ukraine. I love Ukraine with all my heart. However, believe me, I had a dream to move to Italy, because I've been in Italy many times and I am in love with Italy so much. But I understand now that when everything finishes, I come back home. I really come back home, and this strength grows from truth. We understand that we didn't do anything wrong, and we are on our land. We are peaceful people. We want to be on our land.
I wanted to ask you, once all this is over, do you think you're going to go back to Ukraine? And how do you expect Ukraine will be at the end of this war?
I hope that all this destroying will stop. I really hope so. And I hope that I will have where to come back. This is the most important. Actually, I am given private lessons of English, so I am not much scared about how to survive. So at least I can manage somehow with my daughter. But I know it will take time to renew, to build up Ukraine again. I know. And we have a private house, big private house. So our doors are open for whoever, like neighbors, like all kind of friends, maybe even people who we don't know, but good people. So if they need a shelter, we are ready to pass them, because this is a time when we must be united. So only helping each other, we can reconstruct Ukraine.
That's really beautiful. Listen, when was the moment when you realized that war was really coming, that it was going to happen?
When I heard on the news that a lot of embassies recalled their representatives back home in their countries, that was for me wow, because okay, Russian troops near the border, okay, it's coming closer and growing up, okay, not good, but still. And then when I understood that even everyone from embassies is escaping, I understood that that is not a good sign. They know something, they really know something, and this is not just hysteria, like Putin said, oh, this is hysteria. So it's not. I understood that something is going to happen, and I was even buying flashlights. I bought power banks just in case, exactly this time, because I was already kind of prepared to what's gonna happen. But till the very end, nobody could realize that it will be true.
And this is when you understood that war was going to happen. But when was the moment where war actually came into your life?
5:15 or 5:20 in the morning, February 24th, when house started shaking from the sound of boom, boom. And even my husband, which told me no, Nadia, you're in panic. Sorry, I didn't introduce myself. My name is Nadia. So he was waking up, he was jumping out of the bed and cursing, really? Did they really did it? And our glasses were shaking. Our house was shaken, and it was very powerful. It sounds like a bombing sound, and another reality started.
You said you've been in a shelter with your daughter. In Italy, we don't have shelters in our houses. Really, in Ukraine, you all have shelters in your houses?
It is not exactly shelter, so it was not designed as a shelter, but we can use it as a shelter. It's like basement under the house, where we usually have some supply and system of water and all this stuff, and also we have 3-level house, so like level underground is where we have this water supply, and also we have garage for the car there. So and we have there very small windows, so we just close them with bricks. Now we close that with bricks, and we also have their water, so we brought their water, and I brought their heater and a lot of blankets and pillows and food of first necessity that can last long. So it is not exactly shelters like, for example, they are in Israel, because I've been in Israel, and houses there are designed to be with shelter, already designed. But in Ukraine, no, because we have never been in such situation. So it's just a basement when we have some lockers or supply system for the house.
And how many people were you? Was it just you, your family, or friends? How many people were there with you?
It is private house, so we had our family and our neighbors, because our neighbors, they don't have such a basement like we have. So I asked them, like, people, do you have any shelter? They told, no, we don't. And there are like around 8 people together. So I told, listen, I gave them my key from our fence, key from our house. I teach how to use it. And I thought, like, if you need so, just run and come to us. So they were coming to us once.
And when you roll down there, what happens? What do you talk about? What do you feel?
We are just listening to sounds, how far they are from us or how close they are to us. And we don't have, in our village, we don't have system of alarm. So that's why we don't know when we need to go out. So we are just listening what's going on around. When it is silent, we just went out.
You have a very young child. How did she leave all this situation?
That time was really not easy, but actually I was just hugging her, keeping her near by my side, and luckily she was sleeping, so she didn't wake up. So she didn't understand actually, in fact, what was going on, because she was just sleeping. But here, thanks God, she can already manage, because really it was so hard for her. She was actually waking up in the middle of the night just screaming. However, she's very quiet and a very silent daughter, a really, really silent baby.
And now let's talk about why all this happened. Why do you think Russia invaded Ukraine?
I have 2 versions about this, two thoughts about this. First one is that actually Russia always wanted to take some part of Ukraine, because in the far history we were like Kiev Rus. So we think that Kiev Rus is because of Kiev, so it means it's all Ukrainian. But they think they are calling Russia, Россия, yeah? So Rus means that Kiev has to belong to them as well. You understand? Yeah? So it's like all this. However, if to go back to history, so Kiev exists in like 1,000 years, and Russia didn't exist. It was a small land named Moscovia. And then they started to call themselves Russia. But it was little small Moscovia that was, Kiev Rus was big, powerful, and small Moscovia, she didn't mean nothing at that time. But now they are rewriting the history, they can do this. This is the first thing. But second thing, I guess that maybe people which are surrounding Putin, maybe they are given some kind of wrong information to him regarding what's going on around. For example, um, a lot of people in Russia, they truly believe now that that was no another choice because Ukraine decided to go to NATO, means NATO wants to attack them. However, like we are free to go in any union, and you see that NATO now at the moment, NATO is not participating in no way, and we are begging them to close the skies above us from missiles, and NATO is not participating. So if NATO really wanted to attack Russia, they would already do it long time ago. So you understand? Yeah, like they are telling that everything that we do, it's we are forced because we are protecting ourselves from NATO. But it is how to say, it doesn't have any sense actually. So my question is, or they are really, really, really believe so that they are really in such a fear for NATO, or it is one more reason why to attack Ukraine.
Many people say it was just an excuse for Putin, but don't you think that what happened and what happens in Donbass can be one of the reasons why all this happened?
I can say next. I have my friend, okay, now it is already ex-friend, yes, ex-girlfriend. She is from Donbass. And she was, when everything started, she was telling me next thing. You are people telling that you protect us from Russia, but if you stop shooting, then you like we are saved and everything is okay because we don't want nobody to save us. I have another friend of my mom, also from Donbass. When everything started in Donbass, they immediately came to Kiev. They left everything, like house, car, they left everything. They managed to come to Kiev and to start a new life. And I was talking to them and they told me, listen guys, we have really a huge propaganda there, such a propaganda that people think that it's Ukrainians who are attacking. However, he told me, I live exactly the closest part near Russia, and I saw that missiles are coming from Russia, not from our side. Only if Ukrainians went to Russia and shooting us from there, but this is not here. So like missiles are coming from Russian side to Donbass.
So you're saying that nothing happened with Ukraine in Donbass, it was just a Russian problem, and they actually were allowed to speak Russian and to send their kids to Russian schools?
Okay, I can tell you like this. In every single country, you will have some people who will be telling you, listen, you need to speak local language. Example, I've been in France and I was asking officer in the airport, how can I get to my gate? And he was telling me, you don't speak French? I told him, I'm sorry, I don't speak French because I'm from Ukraine. I was learning only English. And I think you will be agree with me. In every country will be some people, but it's not majority. It's like some minor people who will be telling like you need to speak local language. It will be everywhere in the world. It is and it will be. So maybe yes, we have some people, you know, who you need to speak local language, and especially if a person is answering like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know language, but I am trying to do my best. So they will tell, yes, okay. But if you are telling something like, you know, I am speaking the language I want to, and you are not gonna tell me what to do. So yeah, so that you will be telling like, come on, like, why are you talking like this to me? You are in the country, so you must speak this language. You understand what I mean?
You know, in Italy as well, we have minorities that speak different languages, and we gave them some kind of independence in those regions. One of the official languages is their language. Why wasn't it possible to do this in Ukraine?
It is happening in Ukraine. For example, even not Donbass, it is center of Ukraine, down to Cherkasy, like eastern from Kiev. This is a Kryvyi Rih, named Kryvyi Rih, whereas also they are taking everything like from down, like in Donbass. This is the place where my husband is from. He was studied in Russian school. And city Poltava, I am from Poltava. We had or two or three, I guess we had 2 schools in Poltava completely in Russian. And in Donbass, we also had schools in Russian. So we do have schools in Russian. The point is that main language is Ukrainian. You need to fill up documents in Ukrainian, but okay, you studied in Russian. Doesn't matter. I was talking Russian all my life. Okay, I studied in Ukrainian school because my parents decided. But if I wanted, I could go to Russian school. That was no problem. So I am speaking Russian actually all my life because I am a musician and musical education mostly in Russian language. So all of us are speaking Russian. So can you imagine if really was so tough about Russian language in Ukraine, how 20 million people would survive here? Like it would be like disaster previously. So maybe, I'm telling you, maybe some people got into some conflicts and were very principled. Like, I am not gonna speak Ukrainian language, and just I'm not gonna. Not to say like, sorry, I just don't know Ukrainian. You know, like it's life. So there would be no conflict. But if you are really going for conflict, you will get a conflict back. You understand what I mean?
And what do you think is going to happen now? How can all this be stopped?
The war can stop both ways. Or when Russia will stop shooting us, or if Russia will put the nuclear weapon everywhere, will shoot nuclear bombs, so there will be war stopped because no war anymore.
You really think that this might happen? Putin talks a lot about nuclear weapons, but you really think that he actually would do that?
I think he thinks about doing this, because now, in fact, all sanctions against Russia, they are making Russia tighter and tighter financially. So if he understands, Putin, that there is nothing to lose, maybe he will do this. And he doesn't care about his young soldiers who even sometimes didn't know they are coming to Ukraine for the war. They were thinking they are coming to Crimea for the study, for the military study. So same here, he doesn't have mercy for them. So he will not have mercy for all the rest. This is the most scary. Like all of us are scared from a nuclear catastrophe.
And what do you think NATO, United States, Europe should be doing to help you? Are they doing enough?
I can tell you this. If we had already protected skies, we don't need even weapon because all we need is to defend ourselves. We don't need weapon to attack. We need this to defend. So, for example, if we have skies closed, means no missiles are destroying our cities, and we are okay here at places. But because we have everywhere shooting those missiles, so we need some weapon to destroy those systems of missiles. You understand? We just need it for protection. We, like in Israel, when they started having everywhere missiles around, they were not falling down because they were just blowing in the air. So that's what we need, only to protection.
But we know that if NATO intervenes, then it's going to be really the start of the Third World War. Isn't it more dangerous?
I can say that it depends how to consider this situation. I guess for Putin, it is. For us, like we don't think that it is like some kind of intervention because we want only protection. Yeah, we don't tell like, please, NATO army, come to us to protect us. Yes, like we are not telling this. So we are Ukrainians are thinking that we only want protection. But from Putin's side, if it will be close, probably he will think that it is already intervention. So it's kind of tricky question. For us, this is the only way to survive for our houses and children because the shootings, those missiles, it is what really does all these destructions. But, this is, I even don't know how to comment the situation. Exactly this your question, because probably Putin thinking, yes, it will be if NATO does this, so maybe he will answer his way.
Un paio d'ore dopo l'intervista Nadia mi ha mandato un messaggio, mi ha detto ma io ho parlato molto dell'Occidente, di come ci siamo sentiti abbandonati, ma io parlavo di politica e non ho detto abbastanza, non ho detto quanto invece le persone ci hanno aiutati, quanta solidarietà, quanto aiuto, per favore dillo e ringrazia tutti quanti da parte mia e da parte di tutti quanti noi e quindi lo faccio a nome suo e adesso le domande per voi. Degli eventi così traumatici possono cambiare una persona? Si può avere una visione obiettiva mentre si sta in mezzo ad una guerra? Dove trovano gli ucraini la forza per combattere?